Good morning. 8:36 a.m. on Monday, August 11th, 2025. And, I found out that I have a lot of new people viewing my coffee videos. So I thought, let's go back and have a little lesson about the coffee belt. But first, I'm going to make myself a quick cup of Buenos Aires Lungo. You would think that with Argentina being in South America, that maybe they would grow coffee there. Interestingly, this particular Buenos Aires consists of Colombian and Ugandan coffees. They don't really grow coffee in Argentina. The climate and terrain is just not suitable. What they do make there, though, is what's called chicory coffee. They use the chicory plant. They roast it and grind it, and it has a coffee-ish kind of taste to it, but they produce about, 3 or 4% of the world's chicory coffee, but there are no coffee beans in it. Also, interestingly, by the way, I've got a little over an ounce of nice warm Chobani oat milk here that I'm going to extract my Lungo into, Buenos Aires Lungo. This was an interesting fact about Argentinian coffee, the kind that's really made from coffee beans, but not grown in Argentina. Very often the ground coffee there is blended with sugar because the Argentines tend to like a very sweet coffee. So if you're ever in Argentina and you buy yourself a bag of ground coffee, it may have sugar in it too. Okay. Now, we're going to go over to the atlas, but first let me take a taste. Okay, this will be like a little geography lesson. This is always a good, I think most of the Lungo coffees that Nespresso makes that have Lungo, L-U-N-G-O, long in the name, except for Shanghai and Tokyo, I pretty much like all of them. I would drink Shanghai and Tokyo, but I don't prefer them. In fact, did I even put them on my chart? Let's see. Yeah, they're in the nope category. Okay, so let's go over to the atlas. Now, I'll see if I can do this without let's try this. All right, and let me raise this up. Okay, it'd be better if I turned it sideways, wouldn't it? I don't know, can I do this? You can't turn while recording. All righty. So I'll just hold the phone and show you. All righty. So first of all, here's the Earth. All right. Here is the equator going across the center. All right. Now, 23.5 degrees north of the equator. Here's the equator where my thumb is. This is the Tropic of Cancer. 23.5 degrees south of the equator is the Tropic of Capricorn. So, all of the countries in this area, well, not all of the countries, but this area of the world is where almost all of the coffee comes from. So what are some of the countries in here? And it's called the Coffee Belt. We've got Mexico, of course, Brazil, Colombia, Peru, Ecuador. We've got all of the various Central American countries, okay? Guatemala, Costa Rica. We've got a whole bunch of African continent countries, okay? Ethiopia, where it's thought that coffee actually started out, and there's Ethiopia, and Ethiopia is just north of the equator. We've got Sudan. We've got, it's hard to look at the phone and look at, okay, we've got Uganda, Congo, places like that, okay? Then we also come across to the Asian area where, you know, a lot of coffees come from places like India and Indonesia and Vietnam. Okay, now, interestingly, here's Australia, all right? Now, here's the Tropic of Capricorn. But a lot of Australia is very hot and dry. But there are some places where you've got kind of a subtropical climate, and some coffee is grown there. Also, come across the United States, okay, the equator, all right, the Tropic of Cancer. Now look, the United States, well, except for Hawaii here, the United States is totally north of the Tropic of Cancer, but there are scattered coffee farms in California and some other places. So, you know, coffee is grown outside of the coffee belt, but the coffee belt is the main coffee growing area that has the climate and soil and altitude conditions to grow coffee. And remember, there's going to be places here where, you know, they can't grow coffee because it's just not, like, for example, they don't grow coffee in Egypt, you know? And other places that you would expect based on what you know about, you know, is it mostly a hot, dry country, so on and so forth. And of course, here is Malaysia. We got, you know, Indonesia, which we talked about the other day, has over 17,000 islands, but most of the coffee there is grown on Java and Sumatra. And it's because it's got just the right kind of climate, altitude, soil, weather, so on and so forth. So there's your little geography lesson about the coffee belt. So if somebody says, oh yes, today I had some lovely Alaskan coffee. You say, what's Alaskan coffee? Oh yes, it was grown, you know, they grow it in the summers in Alaska on the coffee farms. Nope. Alaska is way out of bounds. Let's see, I was just looking for, all right, here. All right, here's Buenos Aires, Argentina. All right, Argentina, Buenos Aires. And the Tropic of Capricorn is up here, okay, by Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. So Argentina is not a real big coffee growing area, if at all. But like I told you in the beginning, they do grow chicory. And you can Google chicory. Oh, I know. Is it Louisiana coffee here in the United States from that's popular in Louisiana, where they have chicory coffee? I think it is. So some of you might be familiar with the taste of chicory in coffee. Okay, well, that's your little geography lesson for today. You know, and the next time you're having coffee and it says rich Colombian coffee, or grown in Vietnam, or Java from Indonesia, or, you know, all the different, Ugandan coffee. Think about, Hawaiian coffee. It's a whole trip around the world, mostly between 23.5 degrees north latitude, that's the Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degrees south is the Tropic of Capricorn, and the equator runs through the center. So look at a map of the world sometime and, you know, get an idea, refresh your 4th grade geography lessons to see where coffee is grown. Okay, enough talking. I am going to enjoy my Buenos Aires Lungo made from Colombian and Ugandan coffees in my Austrian Christmas market mug. I'll talk to you later.